What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns with news off the Rockstar Newswire. And yes, I realize this broke yesterday. I know. GeauxBurns, this was yesterday's news. I was out of town, okay? But I still feel like going over it in case there are some of you out there, at least one or two of you, that may not know about this. A brand new update is coming to Grand Theft Auto Online this coming Tuesday. That's right, this coming Tuesday. Smugglers Run. By the way, this article is linked below in the description section. We're going to read the article. We're going to go over screenshots I took from the trailer, so kind of a trailer breakdown all in one video. And I want to see your thoughts regarding the Smugglers Run update coming out this Tuesday to Grand Theft Auto Online. And I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of sort of excited about this one because I'm into aircraft. You know, if it flies and has guns and rockets and bombs on it, I'm all about that shit. All right. So anyways, once again, the article linked below in the description section along with the trailer. So let us go ahead and read this article. We're going to read all of it, not just the Smugglers Run stuff, but the other things coming up later on this year. Seems like recent events have taken their toll on nervous Ron. He's even more on edge than usual and looking for a new business partner to help take over his smuggling empire in Smugglers Run, the next big update to Grand Theft Auto Online, which is coming this Tuesday, August 29th, just a few days away. With the name that's a nod to an early classic of the Rockstar Games catalog. Yes, there was a game called Smugglers Run. It was actually pretty cool. So that's where the name of this update comes from. Smugglers Run opens up the air corridors above Los Santos and Blaine County, providing new business opportunities while introducing a range of planes, choppers, and even ultralights as highly viable options for transporting criminal cargo across the state, simultaneously opening up some creative new methods of dispatching any rival gangs along the way. Smugglers Run delivers a massive range of new customizable aircraft perfect for any mission, along with expansive new aircraft hangars in which to stash your fleet of fantastic flying machines. These new properties are also the HQ from which you'll manage your smuggling business, guided by nervous Ron and assisted by Charlie, your new mechanic, who'll take care of your collection of exotic aircraft. So yes, we are going to be going over all these photos, and I'm excited because I've been wanting more attack craft in the game. And I know we have enough vehicles with guns and explosives on it, but I just have a thing for old school fighter planes, and it feels like Rockstar listened. You really listened. But there's more coming up later on past Smugglers Run. We'll go ahead and get into that right now. All right, so coming up this fall, we're going to be able to transform races seamlessly and take across water, sea, skies. So stunt racing in Grand Theft Auto Online has had us flipping and carving our way across enormous corkscrews and loops and other crazy tracks, while the special vehicle circuit races harness the power and unique characteristics of the Rocket Voltic, Ruiner 2000, and Blazer Aqua. Now, racing in Grand Theft Auto Online will once again be transformed with intricate circuits that demand mastery across air, sea, and land vehicles. New strategically placed checkpoints with instantly change your vehicle class to match the portion of the course ahead, creating dynamic racing with ever-shifting challenges to take the checkered flag. So I guess this is going to be kind of like Super Mario Kart. I guess that's the best way to compare it, where, like, you know, sometimes you'll change the vehicle. It'll just magically transform from a car to a jet ski to maybe an airplane or a helicopter. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how these type of races fare with the Grand Theft Auto community. I think they have potential to be fun. And if we have access to create our own races, you know, with this Mario Kart-esque vibe to it, you know, that's even better, because some of the best races in Grand Theft Auto Online are from the community that does the race creations. So hopefully we'll get that as well. And that's not coming with the Smugglers Run update, by the way. That's coming later on this fall, FYI. Plus new modes, vehicles, holiday celebrations, and more. Enjoy a fleet of new aircraft along with a suite of customization options for these aerial editions. There will also be a few new four-wheeled vehicles as well, plus new competitive adversary modes. Oh boy, Who doesn't want more adversary modes, right? And of course, the timely holiday creations, including fun new stuff for Halloween. Please, Rockstar, give us some freaking costumes. I mean, we have a ton of awesome masks in the game, but I would love some costumes. Like scary costumes, some freaky costumes, some naughty costumes, some sexy costumes. I want some costumes for Halloween, damn it. Hopefully we'll get some. And of course, the December holidays and more. So you probably got more good stuff coming up for Festive Surprise 2017. And keep the feedback coming. The direct feedback we get from the Grand Theft Auto Online community helps us tweak, enhance, and improve the huge range of under-the-hood alterations that we make with each and every title update. Please keep your suggestions coming via the Grand Theft Auto Online feedback page, or you can just email them like I do. Now, the question is, do they actually really read my emails or your emails? I don't know, to be honest. I get the feeling that lately a lot of those emails have been kind of negative. Though I did send them like my own version of what, a PUBG adversary mode should be like. I don't know if they read that or anyone else's ideas, but I guess we'll find out somewhere down the road. But then again, maybe they do read our emails, because one thing I've been asking for is more aircraft with guns, and even the ability to customize said aircraft with guns, be it helicopters or airplanes. All right, so anyways, let's get into the trailer, shall we? We're going to go over the important parts of the trailer, which is the aircraft. I don't care about everything else, okay? So obviously there's going to be smuggling, and there's going to be storing of illegal cargo, which is very similar to the warehouses that we already have in the game, So they're obviously taking elements that already exist from previous updates and reusing them for this purpose, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But what I really care about is the planes and the choppers. And that's what we're going to talk about in the trailer breakdown. Okay, so here's the first image we see in the trailer. You see several vehicles already. Vehicles you know about, like in the far back, a Titan. And then that looks like a Luxor, the gold Luxor, I guess. And so I guess that implies that if you maybe already have a Titan or a Luxor in your like Pegasus inventory, similar, and this is just my theory, by the way. There's no proof to this. It's just my thoughts whenever I'm going over the trailer, is that maybe similar to the Insurgent pickup and the Technical pickup, you can maybe take them into the hangar and create a custom version. I don't know. That might be the case. So if you already have a Titan, you can just customize it. And hopefully we can make a gunship variant of the Titan. That would be really badass, because, the real life plane based off the Titan that has, the guns on it, that thing is freaking fierce. It's freaking scary as hell. It'd be really cool if we could do that with the Titan. And of course, the Luxor's in here for some reason. Is that a Luxor or a Miljet? That could be a Miljet. I don't know. From this angle, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it could be a Luxor, but then again, it's either a Luxor or a Miljet or something else entirely. Okay, so what we got here in the the bottom left-hand corner, it looks like one of the earliest fighter jets or bomber jets, I think, even though it has a little propeller on it, from the late World War II era, when the Nazis were building jet aircraft. Or you know what, I could be wrong about that. Actually, I scratched that. The RAF was also building jets as well, and they were in the very early stages of development, these jets. And that could be like a variant of, a very early RAF jet. I could be wrong about that. So in the bottom left-hand corner, behind it, what appears to be a two-seater World War II warplane. Could it be based off the P-51 Mustang, or maybe even a Spitfire or a Hurricane? Yeah, I kind of sort of know World War II aircraft. Yeah, past lives and all that. Plus, my grandfather was a second lieutenant in the Army Air Corps, and he flew the P-51D Mustang, which is a very beautiful plane, by the way. So that's what it kind of looks like, but it definitely is a two-seater, so it's kind of a trainer mix. I kind of hope we have a one-seater version, because I don't know how I feel about the two-seater, but whatever. But anyway, speaking of different errors, despite me being an error, we have a MiG, one of the earliest MiGs, or it could be a Sabre, or it could be a mix of both between the MiG and the Sabre, from the Korean War era. It's this jet that is basically to the upper right of the protagonist that's walking into the hangar. And then, like, behind the MiG or the Sabre, you see this strange-looking four-engine plane. We'll get a better shot of that in a moment. And then to the right, we see a couple of helicopters. And those helicopters are fascinating as well. They're one-seater helicopters, which is fascinating. Okay, so anyways, I think that's all we're going to get from this image. Obviously, we're going to get our own hangars, just like it mentioned in the article. So I imagine that Rockstar, logically, it would make sense if they used the hangars available down in, LSIA, at the big airport down in south of Los Santos, because that's where the hangars are. The only other place where there are hangars is Fort Zancudo, and as of right now, we really don't have access to Fort Zancudo. So I don't know if we're going to be able to have a hangar at Fort Zancudo. That'd be kind of cool if we could. I would imagine it might cost a little bit more to have a hangar at Fort Zancudo than down at LSIA. But I get the feeling that maybe Rockstar is going to have to use the buildings that they have available. Now, they could theoretically, add new bunkers out of nowhere. I mean, new aircraft, kind of like they did with the bunkers. That's where I was going with that. So magically, you would see a pristine new hangar at Trevor's Airfield just out of Sandy Shores, or the airstrip over at Grapeseed. It just really wouldn't make sense to add new hangars to either of those airstrips. By the way, I really wish we would have an airstrip or an airport by Paleto Bay. That's just something I really feel like Rockstar dropped the ball on when it came to Paleto Bay. But I digress. Anyways, moving on. Oh, yes, Nervous Ron. He obviously makes an appearance in this update. Similar to Agent 14 with the bunkers, Lamar with lowriders. You get the idea. And to be honest, I'm not really excited about this. I'm not really a Nervous Ron fan. And it begs the question about the timeline of Grand Theft Auto Online now. So when Grand Theft Auto Online first came out, leading up to, I would say, the heist update, it was set prior to the events of Grand Theft Auto 5 story, the quote-unquote present-day 2013 events. Now, there's a running theory out there, and I kind of buy into the theory that starting with lowriders, when they added Benny's down in Strawberry, that shifted the timeline of Grand Theft Auto Online to, quote-unquote, the new present day, because Benny's doesn't exist in Grand Theft Auto 5 story, and it would make more sense for it to exist after the events of Grand Theft Auto 5 story, along with everything else that has come out with, the Grand Theft Auto Online update. Or, these are simply just parallel worlds coexisting side by side. Who knows, right? So anyways, yes, Nervous Ron is in this update. Don't know how I feel about that, but I guess we'll find out one way or the other. All right, so yes, Rockstar Games presents Smugglers Run. So we see I think those are Cubans in the background, and I think that could be a Titan, or it could be a modified Titan, or it could be a completely new aircraft altogether. I mean, I think the fact that the Titan being in the hangar, pretty much is a given that we're going to be able to hopefully customize and upgrade the Titan. Maybe add some guns to it. All right, this is a really cool dogfight happening over downtown Los Santos. And it's very interesting. Okay, so you have these World War II fighter planes. And just for the sake of, I don't know, just to call them something, we're going to call them rustlers. Because in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, we had a World War II warplane called the Rustler warplane, which was based loosely off the P-51D Mustang, as well as the Spitfire. So we'll call them rustlers, since we don't have an official name for them yet. They may be rustlers, they may be called something else entirely. So over the streets of downtown Los Santos, they're getting into this dogfight with lasers. And apparently, the lasers are losing the dogfight. They got their asses handed to them by World War II fighter planes. Now look, I love World War II fighter planes. I think they're beautiful. But truth be told, a World War II fighter plane, even though it was fast for its time and deadly, technically, I don't know if it really would be much of a match against a modern fighter jet. I don't know. This seems a little far-fetched, but video games, right? Anyway, so yes, Grand Theft Auto Online Smugglers Run, featuring a squadron of these MiG Sabres. Now, It may seem to resemble more or less an early Korean War era MiG than a Sabre, but there are similarities. So that's why I think Rockstar, you know how they like to take 2 or 3 vehicles and mix and match them together into like one of their own versions of a vehicle. So that's probably what they did with this particular aircraft, taking elements from the MiG and the Sabre design. Okay, so here's another good shot of this MiG Sabre, whatever we want to call it. The SIG. We'll call it a SIG for now, just to, I don't know why. But yeah, so yeah, it looks very, very similar to those fighter jets that, you know, served over the skies during the Vietnam War. And of course, behind the SIG, as I'm calling it, yeah, I'm more convinced now that that is a Luxor. I think that is a Luxor to the left. Obviously, a Titan far behind it. And then this other interesting aircraft to the right, the 4-engined, which looks kind of like a seaplane. Very similar to a seaplane. Now, what I find fascinating, let's back up real quick. Like, the wingspan of this seaplane behind the SIG, as I'm calling it, isn't very long. And that's what I find rather odd. Now, I don't know if it's because, you know, maybe the wings, like, whenever you get it out of the hangar, like with some aircraft, they had, like, folding wings that would fold up. And then whenever you would pull them up out of the hangar, you know, or on top of the deck of an aircraft carrier, for example, you would just fold out the wings before they took off. So it's possible with this interesting looking aircraft. It obviously is customizable. I kind of like the what they got with the lady on the cloud, all aboard. Oh yeah, I'm all aboard. Hell yes, I am. You know, plus you got guns on the front. Yes, you do. So yeah, I mean, it just looks odd to have such a short wingspan, even though there are 4 big, massive engines on top. It feels kind of like a bumblebee. You know, like a bumblebee's like looks like it's too big to fly, yet somehow it's still able to. Yeah, that's nature for you. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what we'll be able to do with this plane. But it does kind of sort of look like it might be capable of landing and taking off on water. So that would be kind of cool. All right, next. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Confirmed. Yes. The Hunter is finally coming to Grand Theft Auto Online. Obviously, that's the fucking Hunter. From behind, you can tell that's the rear end of an Apache attack helicopter. I realized once upon a time when they were first teasing heists over, 2 years ago, we saw the back of what became the Savage, and there were other content creators, not going to name names, who mistakenly thought that was the Hunter. Even though myself and others was like, no, that looks like the rear end of a Russian Hind attack helicopter. But nobody listens, obviously. But anyways, I'm just so excited. We're finally getting the Hunter back in Grand Theft Auto. And to prove it's the Hunter, there's the front of the Hunter. So yes, the Hunter, a.k.a. the Apache, coming to Grand Theft Auto Online Smugglers run. And I hope this is a day one vehicle. So that's another issue, is like with gun running. They show all these vehicles, including the Night Shark, which a lot of us were excited for. And yet it was like at least a month or so before we finally got to purchase the Night Shark. So who knows how many of these aircraft are going to be day one and how many are going to be locked. And we're going to have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks before we get our hands on them. So hopefully that won't be the case with the Hunter, because I really want that attack helicopter. It's just so sexy. All right, so this is obviously one of the things we'll be able to do besides having and customizing aircraft is a bit of warehousing. Similar to, yes, as I mentioned a moment ago, the warehouses that we already have in the game. You'll be able to store, those, ill-gotten gains, those illegal goods and services, store them and sell them. Store them, sell them. You get the idea. You already know this formula because it already exists. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with this existing in the game. It's just that personally, I don't care as much about this aspect of Smugglers Run. But hopefully it'll be a good way to make some money in Grand Theft Auto Online, because with all this new content that's coming out, we're definitely going to need as many ways to make money as possible. All right, so this is a helicopter that exists already in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I don't know if it's going to be a vehicle that we're going to be able to actually purchase and customize, or is it simply just going to be a helicopter that we can call up and use it occasionally, or is it just going to be for like specific missions when we're like dropping off cargo? Because it looks like this helicopter is actually doing a drop-off mission. So this may be after you pick up enough cargo, enough goods, store them in your hangar, and then when you're ready to sell, then Ron sends you off and says, okay, here's this helicopter, go pick this up, fly it over here, drop it off, try not to get murdered in the process, and we'll get paid. So I don't know if this is going to be one of the helicopters or aircraft that we'll be able to purchase and customize in the hangar. It'll still be kind of cool if we get it in the game, but I don't know. I wouldn't put too much hope into that. Plus, to be honest, this thing can only do so much. And, I hope that if it is available for purchase and actual use in free roam, that, unlike the Cargo Bob, it actually is able to carry more weight, like lift up the insurgents. It just doesn't make any sense. Like the Cargo Bob can lift up the Rhino tank and fly it around the map. I've done it plenty of times. But for some reason, it has trouble with the insurgents and some other vehicles. I think it even has trouble with the APC. So maybe there's more like carrying and lifting power with this particular aircraft, which would make sense. All right, so next, this interesting helicopter. It's a one-man chopper, meaning that if you get in the helicopter, there's no room for anybody else. They're really small, they're really tiny, but as you can tell underneath the canopy, where the pilot sits, there's a gun on it. So once again, these helicopters will be purchasable. Looks like it's done through Nagasaki, one of the fictional companies in Grand Theft Auto Online. And I'm guessing that these things are going to be really fast and deadly, which might be kind of cool. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this particular helicopter, but it might just, give the Buzzard a run for its money, because as of right now, the Buzzard's still the fastest attack helicopter in the game. So this thing might actually be even faster than the Buzzard, but it might be limited to, say, just machine guns. So I don't know. I guess the jury's still going to be out on this aircraft. It looks interesting. I'll say that much about this new Nagasaki one-man attack chopper. All right, so here's some more dogfighting. I love me some dogfighting. And once again, something that probably would not exactly go this way. You have rustlers, as I'm calling them, taking on lasers. And by the way, Rockstar, a lot of us have been asking and begging and pleading with you to, give us the opportunity to actually purchase our own laser, because some of us get tired of having to sneak into Fort Zancudo or, call off the cops for a few minutes, just to get our hands on a laser for 5 minutes before we, smash into a mountain or it gets blown up by another player. I would like to have my very own laser, please. And, this is a perfect update for us to not only get our own very own laser, but perhaps even customize it. What a concept, right? But anyways, back to the dogfight. So we got these quote-unquote rustlers taking on lasers. In real life, this would not go the way it's going in this video. The rustlers would be destroyed by the lasers. But still, at the same time, these are very fast attack aircraft from the World War II era, but they would be no match to lasers. But still, like I said earlier, video games. And it looks like these are one-seaters, I think. I'm looking at the one on the top right. I'm looking at the one right in front of us. And I could be mistaken, but I think these are actually one-seater variants. And so these might actually be what we call the Rustler warplane in this update. Unless Rockstar came up with a completely different name to call these particular aircraft. But still, it's a very sexy aircraft. And I'm definitely planning on purchasing this come Tuesday morning. All right, so another image of, I don't know if this is a Titan or if it's like a modified version of a Titan or if it's a completely new aircraft altogether. So that's the question right now. This may be like the gunship variant of the Titan. So I don't know, to be honest. But obviously it's doing a drop-off because you got the smoke in the ground. And, it looks like it's taking fire. And it looks like underneath the cabin that there might be some twin guns, I think. Of course, there's a lot of chrome going on underneath it. So this is obviously one of the aircraft we'll be able to purchase and customize. And it could very well be the Titan from this angle. It might be. Or it might be a completely new aircraft altogether. All right, so here's another aircraft from the World War II era. It looks like an old school bomber. Or Rockstar's version of a bomber. They take the real life bomber and then they just make their own. Could be based off of B-17, or I don't know if it's based off of B-29, but maybe the B-17. I think that was the what was it, the Flying Fortress, if I remember correctly. If the member berries are with me today. So obviously this has a gun on it. It probably has the ability to drop bombs. And you can get a gunner up there, which is really good, especially if you're being chased, especially if you're hauling something and maybe it's not bombs. Maybe you're actually using this bomber to haul your goods, from one drop off to the next. You kind of want someone manning the guns to protect your six from, enemy NPCs or other players. All right, so here's another cool shot from the bomber. Now, my theory is that I guess it's either an escort mission or you're taking out escorts to the big honking plane that's right there in front of you. Now, from this point of view, I think that might be a cargo plane. I could be wrong about that because, no, I'm wrong. I think that's the Titan. So I think that's probably, the plane you're having to escort. Well, this bomber is escorting, and you're having to shoot that other plane out of the sky for that plane takes out the plane that you're escorting, which I think is this customized Titan. So that's my theory. So this is a really cool shot of one of the players in the gunner seat above the pilot, working them guns. And I don't know what type of ammo we're going to get. Are we going to be able to get upgrades to the ammo? Is there going to be variations to the ammo, or is there going to be one specific type of ammo that we use? I don't know. I mean, that's just one of many questions that we have regarding Smugglers Run. All right, so this is an interesting aircraft that's also going to be in this update. Paragliders. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. To be honest, of all these other aircraft that we're getting, this is the more interesting one. I'm very fascinating exactly how well you're going to be able to get around the map in one of these things when you have buzzards and lasers shooting your ass from behind. How are you going to survive this? I don't know, because it doesn't look like that this baby has any weaponry to it. It doesn't. So, yeah, it's just one more mystery, one more question that I have regarding Smugglers Run. But I don't know. I don't feel so safe flying around in one of those things, to be honest. But, teach their own. Some of you may, jump in this little bad boy and be like, oh, I love this ultralight. It's so much fun. And hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. Okay, so this looks like a shot from the cockpit of, I'm guessing, because of the dogfight going on, it looks like it's between lasers and possibly, as I'm calling them, SIGs, like MiGs, mixed in with sabers from the Korean War era. So I think this is the cockpit point of view from one of those Korean War era jets. So there's obviously another firefight taking place above the skies of Los Santos on a lovely sunset. These planes falling from the sky and wreckage and death raining above. Just another day in Los Santos. And here's another angle of the firefight. Obviously, once again, you have lasers taking on these SIGs, as I'm calling them. And once again, even though the MiG, the Saber from the Korean War era, a bit faster, a bit more maneuverable, deadlier than, say, the Spitfire or the P-51D Mustang from World War II, they're still technically way inferior to a laser. But video games, yes, you guessed it. But it'll still be kind of cool to have these new aircraft in the game. It's just like I said, I also kind of sort of want my own laser, damn it. And another dogfight that really is just something out of like a fantasy movie, It's just something like would never happen. Like a resistance movement, they just get a hold of these like antique aircraft. I'm thinking about, Battlefield Earth with that awful John Travolta movie? Yeah, where they find the Harriers that have been safely put away somewhere for like 1,000 years and somehow they still work. But anyways, awful movie. But still, same concept, right? Our Independence Day, where you have F-18 Hornets, taking on like alien fighter, craft. Yeah, it's funny, it's silly, but in a weird sort of way, kind of cool at the same time. So you have the Rustlers taking on lasers, and once again, the Rustlers somehow prevail. Now, it's possible that this could happen if you have really good pilots in the Rustlers and you have really, really shitty pilots in the lasers. So that's a possibility. It could still happen. anything's possible. So this is another really cool shot right here of what appears to be, I think, the Rustler, or it could be the two-seater. It could be one or the other. To be honest, I don't know. It's just going by so fast, but it looks really cool. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to a lot of these aircraft that are coming with the Smugglers Run update. Specifically, the one that resembles a P-51D Mustang, or the Spitfire. All right, so another image of these bombers. It looks like that they're set for, well, I must have missed that screenshot. Okay, never mind. So, but anyways, I don't get all the screenshots. Sometimes I miss one. But anyways, they were doing a bombing run, okay? So they got a bombing run. They're dropping bombs. So bombing is another thing we'll be able to do in this update. So I don't know if you'll have to, like, purchase it. You probably will, knowing Rockstar. Hopefully we won't have to research any of this crap. You know, that would really suck if we had to. I just loathe researching. I've mentioned that a few times, haven't I? Yeah. Okay, but anyways, all right, so this screenshot. Okay, so this is something happening over the Alamo Sea. You have these SIGs, MiGs, Sabres, whatever they are, taking out a cargo plane. So it's not going to end so well for the cargo plane. It's going to get blown to bits. And I think, I don't know, I mean, the cargo plane could get fast enough and could technically go high enough to evade MiGs from the Korean War era in real life, but because it's so low, yeah, it would be a very easy target to take out. But anyways, those are all the screenshots I got regarding Grand Theft Auto Online Smugglers Run. I'm very, very excited about this update. As I mentioned when I tweeted yesterday afternoon, because I was going to try and make a version of this video yesterday while I was out of town, but all I had was my laptop. I didn't even have my microphone. So it would have been really bad. So I decided, you know what, forget it. I'll just, you know, when I get back, I'll get some sleep. I'll get up early. And if I have time, I'll make a video. And hopefully I was able to. And for those of you, once again, telling me, GeauxBurns, you know, this is nothing new. I know it's nothing new, okay? I just wanted to make a video about this because there's a lot of really cool content that's coming with the Smugglers Run update. I'm not really excited about Nervous Ron, but, you know, even he has his moments. The one thing I'm kind of sort of dreading is the price tag. That's going to be the gut shot right there, because aircraft usually aren't very cheap in this game. Plus, you have to purchase a hangar, and the hangar prices could range anywhere in the $1 million+ range just to buy a hangar alone. And chances are I'm probably not going to buy all the aircraft for my video Tuesday morning. So yes, we're going to try and show off as many of the aircraft as we can Tuesday morning. So that's what I'll be doing sometime in the morning. I don't know if I'm going to do it on the Xbox One or on the PS4 yet. I haven't decided yet. A lot of times I put most of my new stuff over on the Xbox One just because that's where most of my junk is. I got some things over on the PS4 character as well. But maybe not. But either way, I will have a pretty big video coming out Tuesday morning, or a live stream Tuesday morning. Either or, I'm going to think about it for a couple more days. But let me know below in the comment section, what do you think about this update? Are you excited for Smugglers Run? I realize that this is something that really a lot of Grand Theft Auto fans probably aren't really interested in, because most Grand Theft Auto fans actually prefer just driving around and shooting and killing each other. Like, it's like a smaller percentage of the audience that want, you know, to actually jump up in airplanes and helicopters and jets. There's a couple more screenshots, though, that were posted in the Newswire that I did show briefly. We'll go over them again really, really quick. All right, so anyways, another angle from the hangar. You know, there is like that paraglider once again. Behind it, that strange-looking seaplane with the very short wingspan. Behind it, what appears to be, I think, a Cuban in the far back. So maybe we'll be able to, you know, customize our own Cuban. And then, of course, that two-seater. I don't know how I feel about the two-seater, but anyways. And then, of course, the SIG, as I call it. Then what appears to be like two different versions of that one-seater Nagasaki attack helicopter. And then there's another airplane, like, all the way, like, way in the back. And from this point of view, it looks small. But then again, maybe it's not so small when you get up and close. So it'll be interesting to see what that aircraft is all about as well. And of course, you got like these four players walking in flight suits. So obviously, we'll get more flight suits in the game. There's some new helmets. And the helmets have what appear to be, what, video cameras? Or some sort of goggles, maybe night vision goggles on them, and obviously headsets with microphones like you would expect pilots to have. So that's going to be kind of cool. Some of the new stuff coming, not just the aircraft, but clothing attire as well with Smugglers Run update. And here, once again, even though I didn't get the screenshot of them conducting the bombing run, it happens every now and then. But if you watch the trailer, you'll see it. Now, this plane clearly dropping bombs. So the ability to bomb NPCs and other players confirmed with Smugglers Run for some of these aircraft. Maybe not all the aircraft, or maybe it just depends on what you want to put in your aircraft, whether you want to be a fighter or a bomber. Maybe it's entirely up to you. But anyways, if you've always longed to just fly around Grand Theft Auto Online, bombing cars and, bombing players just driving around minding their own business, I guess you'll be able to now. Yay! And of course, the artwork for Grand Theft Auto Online Smugglers Run. Pretty cool looking. I always love the artwork. It's interesting that, we have at least one vehicle in the artwork. And I believe that vehicle is already in the game. I think is that a Warner? I could be wrong about that. I think that's the Warner from the hipster update. So, or else it's an entirely different car. I don't know, to be honest, but it looks like the Warner. So why the Warner is in this artwork, I don't know. But I can imagine that there might be some, land-based vehicles to go with this update. Because like I mentioned a moment ago, not everybody is into flying in Grand Theft Auto Online. There's some of us that like getting into a plane or a helicopter or a jet. There's a few of us pilots. But the majority, they're not really into it. But anyways, other things that I observe is, like, if you go by the artwork for the seaplane, it looks like the wings don't get any longer. That's as long as the wings are, which looks really, really odd to me. It would look better, I think, if it was just like a 2-engine plane instead of a 4-engine plane. It just looks really strange, but we'll see how that pans out. But I think it is a seaplane. I could be wrong about that. And of course, you see one plane dropping packages as well, probably over a drop zone. And then you see another plane dropping bombs, like above the Warner, what appears to be the Warner. And then you see this chick, this pilot with a gun, a sweet looking, looks like a 1911, I think. I love 1911s. Badass gun. And of course, she's in a blue looking pilot jumpsuit. Looks really sweet, by the way. And then you have this one dude, kind of looks, I don't know what he looks like. He's got a duffel bag full of cash. He's got kind of a mask thing going over his face. He's got a pump action shotty. And I think that's pretty much it from the artwork. So anyways, let me know below in the comment section once again your thoughts, your views, your opinions regarding Smugglers Run coming this Tuesday, August 29th to Grand Theft Auto Online.